Hello, gorgeous. Today we are talking about how to elevate your boundaries, level 2. So in my previous video, how to create your boundaries level 1, we talked about if you're finding that maybe you haven't created a list yet, definitely go back and check out that video. Maybe you have created a list, but you found when you run into a situation in the moment, you get caught off guard and you're not able to hold your boundaries. What might be happening? Two things could be happening. One is you have not learned how to use your voice yet. Number two is you have not learned and have the words and embody and feel comfortable saying a gracious no. So these could possibly be happening. So I definitely want to encourage you to go through level 1, start to put that in practice, and really start to get comfortable with those concepts, right? And once you've started to get practice and you're getting a little bit more comfortable and you're clear on what your no's are, then that's when I invite you to move to level 2 and what I call standards versus boundaries. So an analogy that I came across a while back that I thought was really fun is the house and the picket fence. So what is the house? The house is what are our standards. It's what we want our life to be surrounded by. It is what we want our life to be. Versus the picket fence are the boundaries. So these are the boundaries that go around what our standards are. And a fun way to figure out what your boundaries are versus standards is to do a standard versus boundary statement. So let me give you a couple of examples of what this might look like. So again, first, you really want to get clear on what your no is. But then once you discover what your no is, now it's time to ask, what do you say yes to? If you're saying no to something, then what are you saying yes to? So an example could be, I say no to offering unsolicited advice. This will be your level 1, your boundary work. Level 2, now so if I'm saying no to offering unsolicited advice, then what am I saying yes to? And this took me a while. It took me a couple of weeks actually to really get clear on, well, if I'm saying no, then what am I saying yes to? So I say yes to sharing helpful tips and stories. So what does that full statement look like? You start with standards and then you end with your boundaries. I always like to start with what you're saying yes to. So I say yes to sharing helpful tips and stories. I say no to offering unsolicited advice. So that's one example. A second example could be the boundary, level 1. I say no to a lot of things that are dragging me down. What am I saying yes to if that's my no? I say yes to feeling good. So the full statement would be, I say yes to feeling good. I say no to a lot of things that are dragging me down. So I hope these are helpful for you. I wrote these down and I revisited these when I was doing my boundary work on a daily basis, just to drill it into my consciousness, drill it into my brain. So here's a third example. Boundary could be, I say no to helping people more than they want to help themselves. This is a good one. So if that's my no, then what am I saying yes to? I say yes to helping people. Full statement, I say yes to helping people, but I say no to helping people more than they want to help themselves. And when I went through this process of not only just understanding my boundaries, but also understanding what are my standards, this was huge for me because this really started to hone in on what are my values? what kind of pictures do I want in my house? If you think of the house in the picket fence analogy, what kind of furniture, what do I want it to feel like, right? So I hope this is helpful for you. Give it a try, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.